So yeah, Nysha, but thank you for being here once again.
Yes.
I appreciate you and love you.
Of course.
But there's just so many different topics in the world we could talk about. And I know one that's dear to your heart is life after divorce.
Hello.
Right?
Yes.
I know. I can relate.
Yes.
I've been there.
Yes.
I know how it was and how much fun I had.
Yeah, it's fun. I feel like for me, it went through stages. Like, at first, I was devastated because I was divorced, but not because I was divorced from him, but just because, like, what? I went to school, I got married, I had my family, so now I'm divorced. So, like, it went through first the devastation of, like, oh my God, everyone else is gonna, like, no, I'm divorced. Right. Like the scarlet letter. Yeah, so I thought, so that was like actually really hard for me because I did value my marriage.
Right.
And so many people told me not to marry him.
Why?
Because he did not treat me well. So
what do you mean by treat you well?
He was very like disrespectful verbally.
Oh. Okay.
You know, just the way he spoke to me, like in front of whoever, other people. Just as far as like how he would even speak like to or about my family. It was a lot of things there. He was also a person that kind of took things that I maybe confided in him, like if I got in a fight with my mom or something, you know, and I'm telling him just all my life stresses, like how she didn't give me a lollipop when I was 15, but then eventually that comes back up, you know. So he was very disrespectful. And I feel like a lot of people saw that before I did.
Before you realized.
Because for me, I was 18 and I'm like, well, I'm tough. Like, this doesn't bother me. I don't care if he talks to me like that. Like, if he spits fire at me, I'm also a dragon. So, but as I grew up in my marriage, the same things that people saw, I kind of started to mature to not want to accept.
Right.
So that's kind of where it got. And that's why everyone looks and they always look at me and they're like, it just seemed like y'all just got divorced out the blue. And I'm like, no, it wasn't really out the blue, but it wasn't something to where like we were happy and I tried to be happy, but then I had a daughter, you know, Jaws obviously. I had my daughter and some of the things like she would see and I would see that she would vocalize to me. I kind of had to think about like, okay, if she came home with the man like her dad,
right,
would I be okay with it? Would I say, no, this is the man, this is the perfect man for you? And I was like, I couldn't say that.
Right.
And so for me, it was more so just like, you know, the things he would say, how he spoke to me, how he courted me. Things that I feel like now I shouldn't have to ask for in a marriage. Like, I always talk about this because it's the one time that really kind of puts my whole feeling in a nutshell. One time, she was about 4 months. I cleaned up the whole house because my ex-husband went back to work. This man came home. We had an apartment, so basically like you came in the apartment and it was like you almost come in the door like that and you come in and you go straight up and then you come around to the living room floor and everything. And he came and took his clothes off, boots, because he was like in a job where it's like nasty, smelly and stuff, like he worked in septic tanks and stuff.
Okay.
Boots, clothes, everything dropped in the floor, right there. Now, you know when you left this house did not look this sparkling. I've done this with a new child, you know, and so I said to him, I'm like, hello, like, I just cleaned the whole house. The least you could do is pick up your clothes. And it was kind of like, yeah, like, whatever. So it was just things like that I just felt like this isn't a forever thing. And I feel like my mom, my sister, they seen it, they hear it, they would see my demeanor, how I changed, how I go from like bubbly to very like, you know, I wanted to think about when I wanted to hang with my family because I didn't want to, you know, make him uncomfortable. And then, you know, just like everything, I started praying a lot. And once I started praying all the things that I feel like I needed to see, I started to see.
Yep.
So, you know, eventually I started the process of getting a divorce. It was a while. I was in that stage probably for like 2 years, where I filed the papers and then he's like, no, I'll do everything, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, let me give it a chance. Nothing changed. We go forward. So then we started being in-house separated. And I still, like, I just started working out and kind of started trying to do things to better myself, try to like save my money, things like that, because I knew I was going to have to leave eventually.
Right.
So once I got a divorce, though, like I moved out the house, it was kind of like the weight was lifted as far as living with someone who treated you so bad, right? It was like, okay. But then I found myself so confused because I was so depressed because I was alone. I hadn't been alone since I was 18 and I'm 28.
Those are the stages you go through after divorce. That depression comes first.
First, it's kind of
I know
like
'cause I've
grieving.
been there. Yep, it is.
It is. It's almost like the stages of grief. You're angry,
Yep.
and then
And you're so hard on yourself.
everything.
You're like, I failed.
Exactly.
I failed my marriage.
I failed as a woman.
Yep.
I failed as a mother. I'm separating, changing our family. And sometimes I would even call you just like, I don't know how, like, I didn't know how to feel. Like, I should feel. And everyone always tells you when you get a divorce, they say, congratulations. They either say that or they're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
And it's like, it's not really a congrats, and it's not anything that you should feel sorry about, because this is something that obviously needed to be done.
Right.
But yeah, so I started with the anger. It was like, how did you let me divorce you? Like, how come you're not at this doorstep every day
begging, pleading for me back, and you're gonna change, and you're gonna do this and do that?
Why aren't you here?
Right.
Why are you just letting me, such a good wife, such a good mom, just go?
Right.
So I went through anger first. Then I went through just depression. Like, I did not get off the bed for like a week. One time my sister had to come downstairs and say to me like,
get up.
And I'm like, no, I'm sick. I think I made myself have a cold. I'm like, no, I'm sick. Girl, you're not sick. It was all in my head, so I went there. But once I got past that depression and I really started to take all the encouraging words from people around me, from anyone that I spoke with, from the books that I read, just the Tyler Perry shows that I watched, any encouragement I could find and pick up, I picked it up. And it was like little, small, just like, I would say cortisone injections. I don't know if y'all get them. But you can have a pain in your knee so bad, and then they come and they'll give you like one injection, and then it'll alleviate the pain a little, but you might walk and still feel it.
Right.
Then you get another one. So I used my family, my backbone as my cortisone. So I would just have to take it in and like really like press myself every day and like look in the mirror like, okay, we're good. Your daughter's good. And then I started dating, which was weird because that's like a whole nother, I guess, separate.
I mean, that's another stage you go through,
yes.
Right? I remember seeing you one time, and I remember looking at you, and I was like, what is she going through? Why does she look like that?
And you asked me.
And I asked you, like, what is going on with you? Like,
just
you just like nothing? And I'm like, no, it's something. I mean, I just could see it all over your face. I could just see all over your body.
Just
like you're going through something, but you don't want to share it with anybody. But it's okay. But we're here for you.
Yep.
And we always been here for you. But
I was like, even
you came out.
Yes.
You didn't think you was gonna come out, did
I didn't. And even I remember the hardest time. Like, it was like 2 years of me, I feel like, just wearing a smile that was like hidden by so much sadness. And
the other thing that I picked up too was I could see it in your baby. I could see it in Jossie. I was like, why is she so mean?
Hateful.
Oh, she was so mean.
For no reason.
For no reason.
But that was another thing, and that's like, I feel like she didn't know how to get out her frustrations. She's going through stuff, and she sees it.
She sees it, she hears it.
And my baby was like a fireball. And it wasn't until I really removed her from all that. And then we had to, as a village, to try to like just change her, what she sees and what she hears. And she has to understand, like, people don't just yell at each other and scream at each other and stuff all the time. So that also goes in my stages of after, because it was like, looking at her, I was so sad. But then once I realized this was the best thing for us, and she started changing, and like, aside now from her kind of just being a normal 6-year-old, like, she's
very normal. Yesterday, and she busted on me yesterday about eating some fried chicken.
Twins. I was like, and we're going over there. I was like, thanks, kid, with a little pound,
She gave me a whole speech yesterday about how I should stop eating meat and how I should do it. And I said, so how should I do it? She said, you don't go to Burger King. You don't go to McDonald's.
Am I influencing my child? But yeah, so it's like, you see the changes in her, you see the changes in people around you, you see the changes in the energy that you bring. And so, like...
And I remember one time I told your sister, I was like, she got bad energy.
And I did.
She got bad energy. And I have to admit, at one time, I just didn't like you.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
I just didn't like you. And now, I talk to you, and it's like, oh, I love
Yeah. And I
didn't realize that's what it was. I thought really it was just you.
Yeah.
Like,
but
you
it
as
was
a person. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't you who you are. It wasn't your core being of who you really are.
Right.
You were somebody else.
Yeah, I had turned. I was really angry. Yeah. And my mom, she would always say that to me. She would always say, you were so bubbly and, you know, just so sweet. And, you know, your smile collided the room. And then she's like, all of a sudden, it was just like you come around and it's just like a dark cloud. And it would be like, hey. And I'd just be like, hi. Like, what is it? Mm-hmm. But it was a lot. And I appreciate you for saying, like, it's not you. It's not my core. But I do feel like that at the time, like, it was me because I didn't have any care for people. I was just miserable, but I didn't know, like, I was more miserable because I just felt like I'm doing everything I can. Why can't I find this happiness?
It was your circumstance.
And it was, and I couldn't get out of them. And it's like, even though, like, when I'm here, like, when I would come to family events and stuff, mm-hmm. like, I'm still in the back. Everyone's having fun, but I'm in the back of my mind, like, probably arguing because I'm around my family. Because, you know, I was convinced that no one in my family cares about me. No one loves me. I'm an outcast. Nobody likes me. That's why you don't get invited to things. That's why. So it was like a lot of that as well. So it was a lot. I've made a lot of changes and a lot of growth since my divorce, but it was because I had to find myself. Yeah. And I commend anyone that finds their soulmate, like when they're young and they're able to grow with the person that they love and find themselves, because that was another thing that hindered me in my marriage, was that I wasn't able to be myself. Right. Because like everybody knows me. It's weird, like I'm not very like friendly, but I'm very social, and I'm gonna I feel like it's weird. I don't feel like I'm friendly, but I love people's energy. And if I feel like that you have good energy, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna tell you.
You're friendly.
You think so? Everyone says it. Well, maybe I'm friendly.
You are.
Maybe. I don't know who I am.
You are. You will talk to anybody.
I will.
And you will help anybody. Like I watch you in the gym, and you will walk past somebody on the machine. You be like, okay, I got you. Do it this way. I'm like, look at her. She's gonna help everybody.
You're like, let me mind my business. Sorry. But so that was a big thing because I couldn't really like have that, because like, oh, if I like even came and was like, hey, let me help you, and we'd be like, oh, why are you talking to him, or what are you doing? So that's about the saddest part of my life. Because that could be a whole nother show, but I'm glad that I was able to go through the changes. I allowed God to get me through it, and I allowed God to really stand by my side as far as me understanding why. Like, right. I'm having to go through this, but there's a change that's going to happen, and there's a change that's going to happen within you to where you can help other people, because that's really all I want to do. Right. I want to inspire like everybody. Like I had a client, she came in, I just had a bad day. I could see it in her face talking to me. She's about to cry. Mm-hmm. She's like, I just want to work out. I'm like, nope, I'm going to get on your back. We're going to walk around this gym. You're going to tell me about your day. So I wasn't able to be that person because I was so broken. That's why I put my tattoo right here, beautifully broken, because I was. God's path for everyone isn't the same, but I just feel like this was part of mine. Mm-hmm. And like once I got out of that situation, like I was now able to work on me. I wasn't able to just be, try to just dumb down everything that I believed in to be this man's wife when nothing I do was going to make him happy. Right. Now I'm more so at a stage like, if you're not coming with diamonds and, like, if you don't want to wash my feet today, do I have time to date you? And it's really empowering, for me being someone so coveted and always like being like told what to do or told, like if I want to like wear this, my is like, why are you going to wear this? People are going to be looking at you. No, like I'm going to go out and then I get to pick my company. So I remember one time I was struggling with dating and you told me, you're like, no, dating is fun. You just have to enjoy it. And because when I came out of my marriage, I was still looking for like a companion, like a soulmate, because I felt like I needed a relationship, and it wasn't. So when I was trying to do that, it was more so like, the guys was like, whoa, like what's going on? I've actually met a lot of great guys out here, but just not for me. Right. Because I was so like, I'm such a loving person and I want love, and just, I was always trying to go for that. So then I would end up like in situations like that where it's like he's telling me he loves me and I'm like cool, and then it's like, let me do my own research. Is that a family? You
got a whole family over there.
Oh, is that why you have a poodle and you're 6'4"? oh God, you know, and then you
Right.
have to go back. So that was funny with him. I actually told him, don't talk to me until you take away whatever distractions that you have. So I didn't hear from him for like 6 months, and then he hit me out the blue. You told me to leave my family, and I did. So now I told you I've been in love with you since this. And I'm over here like, let me check my Instagram, because I was actually at a date later. Like, it was not, I realized that, at that point I realized.
But did you believe it when he said it?
I believe that he was desperate,
Yeah.
and that if I had have said yes, we would be married. But I don't believe that it was because he was genuinely in love with me.
Right.
It was because, like, I'm a good catch, and you realized it, and now you're like, okay, what do I do?
It's almost like, let me go back through my black book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she was good. Yeah, let me call
This
her.
one. Hey.
Yeah, this one was a good one.
Do you want to, so I've loved you, or we're going to be married.
So now you all alone, which you should be.
Right, and you have
didn't do that one right.
Or the one before.
Right, so.
So, did that. That was a new guy. I actually just, last week, I had an older friend of mine from college that I like the looks. So when I've seen him in college, he was just so fine. You know, we started dating in college. He cheated on me in college. So we let that go. Then we started communicating a couple years ago, like once I got divorced. So he was like, he's come here, courted me. You know, I went to Cleveland, whatever. Like, we've done little trips. Cool. So I get an Instagram from some random girl. Now, I'm very observant. So, like, 2 years ago when we were together, his phone kept ringing, and it was a particular person's name. So I'm like, you good? Like, you got a phone call, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He says, no. Now, the same person Instagrams me today, like, do you deal with him? And I'm like, no. Like, I've been dropped him because something else. Like, because I'm just over it. So, it's just, like, situation like that. And when I explained to him, so he calls me. He's all embarrassed. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, she's crazy. And I said, we're not going to do that.
Right.
Exactly. You know, I said, because, and I told him this on the phone. Well, you know me, I was like, because this is, the only thing I'm going to say is this. I said, me, you don't have any dealings, so that's your business. But don't try to feed to me that she's crazy, because I saw her name when she was calling you 2 years ago when we were together in X state. And then he gets quiet, and I'm like, I'm not mad or anything, but like, let's not do that. So I feel like in dating, you deal with those situations as well. Yep. And my heart goes out to her, because she's now thinking, however many years she's been dealing with this man, because it's been 2, or whatever. So it's just like, so you have situations like that. Those are deal breakers for me. And I guess for me, dating is a little different, because I will cut it off. Like, I'm a Scorpio in season. So once I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I have like another friend that we were talking. We talked a lot, but we weren't on a dating level, but we still talked a lot. So I go on his Instagram one day, and he has this chick, his woman crush. I'm like, that's odd. So I hit him up. He's like, no, he sends me a message because it's guilt. I know you're probably mad at me right now. I said, listen, you're single and I'm single. I was like, but you don't see guys on my Instagram, and if that's what you're going to do, like, that's cool. But I can't be friends with guys with wives, and I cannot befriend guys with girlfriends that I don't know. Exactly. My reasoning is because I'm single.
I mean, that's the karma you don't want.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't have any for marriages, like, that's God's thing. I'm not getting in that, because I gotta see him at the pearly gates, and I do want love, so I don't deal with marriages at all. Girlfriends, sometimes I'm just like, listen, if you have a girlfriend, that's on you, but don't put me in this, because I'm not in any entanglements. And personally, it's not even
the drama.
Right. And then too, for me, it's more so like, I don't want to be the reason for anyone's hurt.
Right.
I'm dating, I meet guys, I parlay, hook up, because it's supposed to be good time, good energy. But if I'm entering in something as a third party, somebody's going to be hurt, and it's probably going to be her, because she doesn't know her nigga's cheating on her. So that's why I stay out of those, because that's, like you said, karma. And then just for me, like, I know what heartache feels like. I know what it feels like when you're going through the guy's phone, and then you go on the girl's Instagram page, and you're like, I don't want to be that girl. So I tell him, like, listen, even when she called me, I'm like, look, I haven't been with him in a long time. We're still friends, but you need to talk to him and figure it out. And I just told him, like, don't play me with that, or she's crazy. I don't know why she's calling you. You know why she's calling.
Exactly.
So met those guys, and then I've just met some, like, really good guys that I weren't attracted to. I'm always like Miss Parker. Like I literally have like guys in my DMs all day. Told you I just had my helicopter date, like surprises. I don't want those guys. I want the one guy that don't want me, and I'm just like, do you want to marry me yet today?
That's life.
So I don't know what to that, but that's where I am now in dating.
Well, see, that goes back to your core.
Yes.
And who you are.
Yeah.
And what's important to you. You got to remember, you're getting older, right? Right. So the first time you married for love, right?
Yes.
You don't have to be love no more.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, because I don't think
You just have to be a great like.
a great like, right?
Really
And
like you.
a good, like
good
energy. We good.
Right.
We can do this together, right? Okay. See, I'm good with that.
Right.
I think I figured it out, guys. Look, I think that's it. That's
Because you
it.
can grow to love somebody. If somebody's really good to you, you can grow to love them.
Because love don't pay the bills or buy you shiny things.
Really don't.
And love, that's what I wanted to get to as well, which some of my guy friends, they like turn their nose up at me because I'm like, I can't date anybody like broke. And I'm not into building anyone up. And so I guess for me being not just
They should
single,
respect the fact that you're being honest.
well, yeah, but I guess for me, that's like my being single after a divorce. I'm not just typical single in Atlanta. Like I've already done the love thing. I've been the breadwinner. Baby, I don't care. I love you. I'll pay the bills because we're together and we're in love. Now, no.
Right.
I'm going to pay my bills and hope that you can pay them.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, and I'll buy you gifts because I like them. So it's not like I'm a gold digger, but I'm not about to, if you don't have your stuff together, I don't really have much time for you. If you still live with your mom, if you have roommates, if you, like, as a man, because I date up, so I'm 32, I usually like to date between my age and like 45-ish. That I feel like they're more like on my level. So it's like if I'm dating you and you're 35 years old, and you don't have a car, you don't have $200 in your pocket, if you can't court me the way I can court me and my daughter or myself, like when I go to lunch, I might go by myself and spend $70 on my bill. So when I go out with a guy, or what I'm looking for in a guy is more so like, you can buy me. You can buy me. Because like you said, I can like you. Like,
right.
I've already done the love thing. I feel like everyone in life should experience love at least once. You should be able to feel it. You should know what it feels like to really give your all to that person. But if that's not something that you hold on to in life, then you've checked it off, and you can now enjoy your life with.
What is your type?
Okay, so are we talking about just all? Okay, so let me just tell you about my man, my husband. Okay, he's gonna be about between 6'2", I would say, and 6'4", like 6 feet. I like him lighter, not that I'm a colorist because I'm brown and beautiful, so any beautiful man is fine, but if I could paint him, he'd probably be lighter with like green or some crazy color eyes. He's gonna be a college graduate, preferably an owner of some business. I like owners.
You like business?
I like businessmen. I like men that can have an intellectual conversation with me, and that understand that I'm an entrepreneur and I'm busy as well. And just respectful, in that can have like conflict without it being a big deal. Like I guess communicator. But that's really my type. Just more so, I feel like too, someone that's a little bit more dominant. It's crazy because I have a dominant personality, so everyone assumes that I need someone that's gonna let me run over them. But I just feel like I do everything. Like I run my own business. I have 20 clients. I'm, always having to man every station. So the guy that I want him to be able to
to be able to keep up with you, basically.
Right. And then when I come in, like not asking me like, well, what are we eating? I want him to be like, okay, either like, where are we going? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm gonna take care of you.
They can make some decisions.
Yes. And that when I retreat, like basically he's the one that I know I can just like be a baby to, because I have to be, so much for everyone else.
Right.
But rich, wealthy, or have a money mindset, so where we can build our business, his business, or, and that doesn't mind like a spoiled brat, because I can be that way sometimes. So I guess the biggest difference is that the guys that I find on social media I usually have to basically continue to push to them that I'm not going to sleep with them. Because they're going off of what they see on my page. They see, you know, the pictures. Everybody knows me. Like, I like to show skin. I said it when I was bigger. Like, if I ever lose my weight, there's nothing you're going to see but skin. So they look at that, and then so immediately, like, you're attracted to a visual.
Right.
So they're always there, like, first go-to is, like, how you look. You look. But when the guys that I meet in person, even though they are also seeing the same thing, their approach is a little different.
Yeah.
So it's like the guys on social media, they'll come right in my DMs like, I want to date. And I'm like, okay, like, where are we going to go? Oh, pull up to my house. That's not a date. I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Whereas like the guys that, yes. Whereas the guys that I meet, you know, just like out, it's more so like they'll just try, they recognize, they can feel my energy.
Right.
So it's a little like different. They want to be my friend first and like, you know, be like my best friend in the world. And then it kind of goes through those stages. But
so basically you're being judged on social media.
Right.
Of how you look and how you present yourself.
Right.
So they see one thing thinking, oh, she's probably easy.
Right. But yeah, so they judge me based on that. So their approach is like a little more like, what's up with you? Where are we going? And
What we doing?
Right, versus like the people that have actually met me. Usually like I'm around guys a long time and then eventually they'll like kind of like chip at it. You know, like I'm thinking like we're friends, like haha cool, and then they'll hit me like late one night like, so have you ever thought about dating me? And I'll be like, no, not really. So, but yeah, gym guys are never the ones. Never. None of them. I actually do not date guys that only have seen me on social media.
Oh, okay. Because
I feel like that's like already the thing. Now, if I've seen them before in person and then like they approach me on social media, those are the guys usually I may go out with. But if I've never met you, if you've never seen me and you're just, I mean, you, listen.
Because that can be a little dangerous.
And I've had guys try to fly me to like where they are. I had one guy from Chicago. He would DM me all the time. He was trying to fly me to see him there. He swore I was going to be his wife. I met a guy from another state who approached me like a fitness person, brand ambassador. He was going to fly me to that state for the weekend to do a photo shoot and this and this. Googled him. And the things I found were very disturbing.
Oh, wow.
None to say the least. And, you know, whether it was true or not, those things, like, that's the things that you get from people on the internet. And so, like, they'll always laugh at me when I say I look everybody up. Right. So, yeah, I actually don't. I've never taken a guy that's DM me and even given him, I don't care, like, I'll look at their profile and I'll, you know, like their pictures or whatever, but I just don't really trust it. Right. And because I don't want someone just looking at me, like, what can you
in
really,
that way? You
don't know someone either off the internet. Right. I can pose whatever life I want to. Like, if I wanted to, like,
you could be anybody you want.
Literally, I could post in this house. Right. I could come over here every day. Oh, wait, I'm gonna just come by for a second, and this will be my house. Welcome to my crib. I have a boutique. I've got this and that.
You can go to the Bentley store and stand in front of a Bentley and take a picture.
I'm buying it today.
Like, this is mine.
And now all these blue checks are going to be hitting my DMs because now they think that I'm a chick that can buy a Bentley. When in reality, I have a 2016 Jeep outside. So that's why I don't really date guys from the internet. But I do still look at their profiles, though. I do like to see what type of men I attract. Because I'm like, if it's like all the same, I always wonder, like, okay, but it's usually just, I mean, guys are guys.
They are. That's why every time I try to do a guy session, they don't show up.
They don't show up.
They don't show
because
up.
Because they're stander-uppers. That's what, like you said.
That's
like,
what they do.
You know, or it'll be like, how I like to vet guys out, though, is I'll tell them, like, I'm celibate, like, first day. Because they always say the same thing. Oh, girl, I'm not trying to get you for that. I was like, well, you know, that is so good because, you know, where I am now, like, I'm celibate, da-da-da. And then most of the time, the good mornings, the, you know, how you doing today, those start to dissipate. And that's how I weed the other guys out.
Yep.
With where
it's funny you say that because when I was single, that's the exact same thing I did. Like, if I be at the club and I meet somebody, first thing I say, are you married? Yeah. Okay, so where's your wife? Why she's not here with you? Okay, so you don't need to be talking to me.
I'm not the one.
No. And then I go the other way. Like, don't want to be bothered.
I'm not.
Mm-mm.
And we're not going to even do
Don't want
that.
that karma, don't want that drama. Made a
'Cause it's
mistake,
gonna-
did that once, and I had a lot of drama.
Right.
So I don't ever want to do that.
Oh, we can't.
Ever.
That was-
Married now, happy now, but it came with a lot of drama.
Right. And
You
it's
know,
just
so.
like, it's way too much. And then I am finding now too, I guess, because me being, I guess, like a growing entrepreneur, the people that I'm hanging around, or like a lot of the networking, the company that I'm keeping, a lot of like DJs, rappers, other trainers, and I'll say we are all known for being promiscuous, I guess. Like, people will say like, oh, don't get your trainer, they all hoes, or you know, you mess with a DJ. Like, I've dated some DJs and stuff like
That's
that.
what they say about barbers too.
Yeah, barbers, hairdressers. So it's like, don't do it. And whoever I met, the barber, the DJ, the trainers, you know. So I met them all, and I just found like everybody's different in some retrospect. But for me,
Right.
my outcome has not been very different. But then again, it's like it has, because I just have to realize like where my fault in it was. Like, I can't say, oh, I'm gonna be single forever and nobody wants me, when I have like 50 guys like trying to take me out, and I'm like, no, his left eye looks a little smaller than the right one. No, I don't. No, he said he works on Saturday. That means he's not on salary. No, like, that's the thing. You know, so.
You don't think you're being a little too picky?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I feel like I am being very, very picky now. Probably too picky, but I feel like that I need to be this way so that maybe I can come back to a normal state, if that makes sense. Because I have to be extreme.
It does make sense.
Either I'm like not picky at all, and I'm just so understanding of whatever you have going on and whatever life that we want to live, and however, whenever you need me, whatever. And then it's like, come on, you keep getting played because you're being real naive right now. So then now I have to like really sit down and like go through this and like, okay, like I was talking to my friend, I had my first like real date, like the one that I literally have prayed for the surprise, me not to know where we're going, was on a helicopter.
Oh, nice.
Flew over Buckhead. It was really nice. Went out to eat after. I've never like slept with this man, never kissed a man, like barely even hugged him, because aesthetically it's not really my type. But I'm working on that as
There
well.
you go.
That's my problem.
Right.
That's where the too picky is coming in, because if I wasn't so stuck on the look,
These little things
I'm pretty
that-
sure I would be like, oh my God, like he literally just sent me a text message like, are you busy on Saturday? I made an appointment for you. I'm like, where are we going? I'm not going to tell you. So it's like, that's the stuff I've been,
That's what you want.
yes, but why am I I tried to give it to my
Remember,
best
he
friend.
doesn't send you what you want, he sends you what you need.
That maybe I need to, because
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of, so that's the stage of dating where I'm at now. I'm actually really happy. It's really fun.
I told you it's fun.
You did, but like I'm just like, okay. But the other thing though, which I want to get your opinion, is this person was married to someone that I knew, like I worked with.
Okay.
And
what type of relationship did you have with her?
co-worker, not
It's co-worker
close, like,
speak.
hey, you know.
Keep going.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
So I thought, so like, but when he first started trying to date me, which was like a couple years ago, they were married, and I was like, no. Right. And so then finally now he's like, you know, we're in the process of divorce. I thought he said we are divorced. That's what I heard. So, but when we were on the date, it's like, well, yeah, you know, COVID kind of stopped things. So we're not actually divorced, but we are separated. So I told him like,
No.
I was like, I can't.
No.
I have not had, okay, so I had one kind of relationship that probably lasted like 3 days. I started to, seriously, like we made it, he asked me like, okay, are we really gonna do this? Are we gonna try to be together? I'm like, yeah. The same day he got upset, he drove up to my house, flipped out on me, and I cut it off. Just like that. So yeah, but I haven't actually had any relationships since my marriage. So what do you say was the hardest thing, like, what was the hardest thing for you to overcome when you got remarried? Not necessarily, like, as far as things within yourself that, you know, like we all have like trust issues, like you can't call me names, you can't. So for you, like, to have your marriage to be healthy now, what do you feel like was for things, I guess.
I think more so for me, and he said to me all the time when we were dating, "What did some other guy do to you? Why are you always on me?" Because I didn't trust anybody.
Okay.
So I didn't trust him. That was like my biggest thing. Trust. I'm like, "Where you going? I called you. You ain't answer your phone." I'm like, and I remember my niece said to me, "Why do you get up so upset?" And I didn't realize it was me. I was just so insecure within myself. So I had to get to a place where I felt really good about myself.
Okay.
And then I could accept, oh, he didn't answer, no big deal, right?
Right.
You know, I remember before we even got married, I used to be so insecure and so worried that he was always doing something. I was always accusing him. I started just saying, okay, you know what? I don't even care what he do. He can do whatever he want to do. I'm going to get up on Saturday mornings. I'm going to take a drive wherever I want to go. He's going to be looking for me. Give him a chance to look for me because I felt like I was always looking for him. Right? Okay. Now, so Saturday mornings I would get up, I would drive all the way to Savannah by myself. And he'll call me like, where you at? I'm in Savannah. Like with a smile on my face, right? Like, I'm in Savannah. Who you with?
Yeah.
Why? But I was by myself. I'm like, I'm by myself, but he didn't believe me. But I was.
Right.
I started going to the movies by myself. Okay. I started going to restaurants by myself. And I knew then, okay, now I'm ready for him now.
Okay, you are, because you're comfortable.
I was comfortable, right.
So I think that'll be me.
Nysha, thank you so much for being real and raw with
that was the one.
I really appreciate you.
You're welcome. It's fun times. We'll come back.
So part two.
Part two.
Right.
Will be why I'm crazy and controlling. That's a wrap. Are we cutting? Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.